Start off with the first Clair sense that gets talked about the most, I feel, which is clairvoyance. That is the one that you probably heard the most about, and that means clear seeing. And a lot of people, I think, get hung up on the fact, oh, I don't see things, with my physical eyes, so maybe I'm not doing it right, and they get a bit discouraged. But I just want to let you know that it doesn't have to be a physical seeing. Start with, do you see pictures in your head, like flashes of pictures? Do you see like a movie playing, snippets of movies? Is that how you're starting to see it in your third eye? Just go with whatever you get and start there. When you start to work with these six senses, if you will, they are more subtle. So just go with what you get. Journaling is a fabulous thing because when you start writing it down, even though it might just be like one or two things here or there that you're starting to see, when you start to see that list, you're like, oh, wow, okay, I'm seeing more than I thought I was. So just keep a journal. What do you see? And this is a great thing to practice with a friend. So if you work with a friend, just say to each other, okay, ask a question and then say, what do you see? What do you see? Are you getting anything? And just write it down. The reason it's best to sometimes write it down to start with is because then you're not getting that feedback. You're just initially writing down all this information and then just kind of go from there. And then just see what your friend will come back with. Now, I will tell you, it is sometimes a little bit trickier working with a friend because your conscious mind your mind gets in the way. You're like, oh, I know that about that person. Working with a stranger is even better, but we'll go with a friend to start with. So working with that and journaling that and then just seeing that those hits come in and you're just like, wow, I picked that up. That's great. Go with that. The clairvoyance is associated with the third eye chakra. If you're familiar with the chakra system, you've got 7 major chakras and it's associated with the third eye right here. The color indigo is linked to that. You've got some recommended crystals. You'll find it, if you Google that, you'll find a ton. So just go with whichever one that appeals to you the most. Amethyst, and that's a good crystal for that, but there's a lot. So just go with whichever one suits you best. It's nice to also go to a crystal shop or a fair and just get a feel for the crystals and just be like, wow, I think this one wants to come home with me. This one appeals to me. That is a great way to do it. Sensing things that that are perhaps a little bit that you can't see. Another one that you can work on is sensing and viewing the aura. A lot of people, again, get discouraged with this because they're like, oh, I don't see clouds of color around people. But start at the beginning and build up your confidence, because I think confidence and the faith that you're going to see something, start there. So when you look at people, instead of expecting to see huge clouds of color, just start with the basics. So if you're focusing on someone, focus your eyes a few inches above the head, and then you might start to see a white light around their shoulders and their head, and it will be shifting. It doesn't stay still. You'll see it shifting. And I guarantee if you start working on this, you will see it. You can also see your own. A good place to practice is in a bathroom, in a mirror. If the light's not too bright, you should be able to see that. You can also see it around speakers who are animated. So if you are at a workplace conference, I've spent a bit of time at work conferences doing this, watching the speakers, because they're usually very passionate about what they talk about. And when people are passionate, their aura just expands and gets brighter. So start to see if you can see that white light around people, and then intuitively sense, we'll be coming to the intuitive senses in a little bit, but then intuitively sense, if you can't see the color, just say to yourself, what intuitively, what color do I sense around that person? If blue is the first thing you get, great. And then just focus on, like, what does blue mean to me? Does blue mean peace? Does blue mean calming? Why am I associating it with that person? And just kind of go from there. Then maybe you'll start to see colors in the aura, but just start at the beginning. Just start seeing that light. Because I think when we just crack that open and we're like, I can see it, then things start to drop into place a little bit more for us.